Or they took his skin.
Or the...
Well, and,
Or the...
wait!
Just take this gun and shoot me!
Bus driver, we're doing eye makeup back here, steady on the roof.
My one thing was I went into the Disney Channel building and I sat down with the president of Disney Channel and I said, I want to make history. And that's what this is. Secret world takeover.
What's up,
Hi,
you
guys? What's up?
Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. These are our guests.
Yeah, introduce our guests.
This is
Yes.
Kevin. This is my older brother, and this is his wife, Julie.
Hey, yo.
Hi.
Don't put it up close to your face. It's been a while.
It's been
11 days.
my phone's the one recording.
It's
It's
been-
been like 9 to 11 days.
Yeah, it's been almost 2 weeks. So sorry for not posting so much. We apologize. We were on
Yeah,
trips.
we were on trips. I had thought about trying to like stimulate the YouTube short ground,
In our
but
TikToks, but no
Yeah.
one is following through with
no one
that.
is following through with that. We did not. I didn't even discuss doing more of that. So we're back. The long story short, we're back.
We were both in Utah. We were all in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
They had a reception, a wedding reception. Want to talk about that?
Yeah. Introduce yourselves, you guys. Talk about yourselves.
Well, I'm chewing.
Oh my gosh, I hate talking about myself. Let me see. We got married 1 month and 2 weeks ago, if you want to be exact. We had one reception in Florida, and then we had two more, one in Utah, one in California. So we've been working on that. Now it's over. We put up all our decorations on the wall, pictures and everything.
Where are you from?
Okay, I'm from Florida. The best state there is. Besides
That's controversial.
Yeah, that's very controversial.
Not even.
It is.
It's because you guys are all jealous.
Nobody agrees with you. And I'm Kevin. I'm Maddie's younger brother. I mean, older brother.
Yeah,
Maddie's my
younger.
younger sister, and I'm her older brother. And yeah, that's like it. She already
Can you tell us
explained
what it was?
everything. Yeah, we got married like very end of June, and just finished all of our wedding stuff. And now it's time to just start normal life.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's really
So
it.
we decided to have him as a guest on our podcast today.
Yeah, so exciting.
So today's topic, if you all caught the hint last episode at the very end, we said something about living in a simulation.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be discussing that and things that should be normalized that aren't, and things that are normalized that should not be. So
Wait, did you say the same thing twice?
No.
No,
I didn't.
You're fine. You're right.
I don't think so.
You're right.
No, it's just opposite.
You're right. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay, Zizi, get into it.
Okay, so last week this is kind of Maddie's thing, like
The list.
The list was like
the list
Maddie's
was
thing.
my thing.
The simulation thing is kind of like my thing. So let me just start. It's gonna be disjointed, but follow me through here, you guys, and then I need your opinion on this.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I think that we are living in a simulation. Like Divergent or
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. they're
Oh no,
a
not Hunger Games.
simulation.
I'm thinking of
Like the Matrix, or
Yes.
the
Mhm.
Maze Runner.
Oh.
They're kind of in a simulation.
Yes, yeah, something along those lines. We're in some sort of simulation, like not exact real reality that's being run by someone else, right? But I think that there are ways that we can get out of it. But so here's why I think we're living in a simulation. Let me start there. So, first of all, hold on, we're gonna. I know it's okay. I'm locking in. Thank you. Okay. So, sometimes when I'm trying to wake up in the morning, here we go. I got it now. I was having a huge brain fart. Sometimes when I'm trying to wake up in the morning, early in the morning, I'll start pushing myself up off the bed, but I can't get my eyes open all the way. They flutter, and then I hit the pillow again and fall back asleep. And typically this will happen 2 or 3 times. Whenever this happens, this doesn't happen every day. This happens maybe once a week. But whenever that happens, then for a couple more days after, I'll get deja vu consistently throughout the day. At first, I think that those flashes are me like either seeing bits before we were put into the simulation,
Oh.
or like I'm trying to come out of the simulation. But then when I'm getting deja vu, I think it's that I'm starting to come out and they're rewinding like the simulation, like backing it up, and that's why.
Like trying to keep you in it.
Yes, like trying to like.
But it's
like,
overlapping.
Yes, it's like overlapping, so that's why like you feel deja vu. Is this
That's
tracking?
good.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're sleeping. You know, like when you're sleeping, you feel like you're falling, and then you like jolt up,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
like jolt
Oh, yeah.
awake. It's kind of like you're escaping the simulation, and you're starting to escape, and then
They pull you back.
they jolt you back, and then
That
you
was
feel like
good.
you're falling.
Yeah.
Trying to escape. Boom! They put you
Yeah.
back. I know. I thought of that on the dome.
Yeah. So
Another thing, these birds. I don't know if anyone else has heard of this, but Kevin and Julie have. It's videos on TikTok where they're videos of like pigeons being filmed in public, and they're like not moving, or they're staring at people. You know what
oh
I'm
my
talking
goodness, it's a
about?
glitch.
So
Like
it's a glitch in the system. It's of them, like it's the government or
recording.
someone controlling them. And I think I can't remember if it's pigeons or ravens, but they can remember people's faces. And I think that is the government assigning a bird to each of us, and then it follows us around and it films us and it watches our every move to
Oh
see
my goodness.
to see if we're out of the simulation, like if they missed like a glitch in the system or
Yeah.
something.
Just to keep tabs on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Or like a pigeon per family or something. That is fine.
That would make more sense. Yeah, like a pigeon
Well, and,
or
like,
a raven.
Aren't there like there's like some
Well, and, like-
species of like pigeon in like every place?
Mhm.
Like doves are
Well,
like
And they were known to send messages. How were these birds so
True.
smart to know where they were supposed to be
Hawks
going?
were.
Yeah.
True.
Like how were they programmed to know where to go? Because they were programmed. Because it's a simulation.
Wow, conspiracy theorists over here.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Dang.
So like I guess like deep down, I don't actually think that we live in a simulation, but I think it's a possibility.
I
It's
don't-
fun to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Like that show, Truman. You know, right?
Mhm.
He didn't know, right? Until he started seeing things, right? Things were out of the ordinary, and then he figured it out. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like if we were in a simulation, we would never know.
Ooh,
Yeah.
It's like how would we know?
But with your Truman Show thing, like, what if there are some people from the simulation that are living like with us to keep things running smoothly,
Mhm.
like
Oh my
in
goodness,
the
like-
Truman Show?
Oh my goodness.
true.
Like in there, he was the only one, but everyone else was like actors, and they were kind of guiding him.
Mm-hmm.
like his wife. What she
Uh-huh.
knew the whole time, and she was like avoiding him from things.
Yeah, like everybody. What
Oh
if
my
it's
goodness.
like that?
Well, and like the government does sketchy stuff that we
Mhm.
don't know about all the time. That's them like manipulating the simulation.
Like, throwback to last episode, we talked about the one president who went to get their dentist cleanup in Edwards Air Force Base.
Oh my god, it was just for the aliens.
Who?
What?
Did
We
we miss
don't-
that?
Yeah, so
I feel
one
like
of
we
these,
missed that.
you know more about this,
Well,
I think.
Yeah, I don't want to like get too into it because we did just talk about it on the last
Mhm.
episode, but like this president came out supposedly for a dentist appointment, but really it was to make a treaty with the aliens that had crash landed on Edwards Air Force Base. But like, see, the government does weird stuff like that all the time.
Because it's a simulation.
Yeah.
Or maybe maybe it wasn't aliens. Maybe there's something out here that's controlling our region. At Air
Oh
Force
my,
Base.
the
So they were
region
like,
of the
so
simulation.
they were like catching up. So they were like checking on it.
Oh, okay. And here, I think that like people have like gotten out of the simulation before because like we kind of said this in the last episode, but like people go missing all the time. What if they like break out of the simulation, are back in wherever the real world is, and they like can't let them back in?
Another one. Have you guys
Oh.
ever seen that video of the lady on the plane and she's pointing? You
You
know what I'm talking
yes,
about?
and she's like, he's not
She's
real.
like, she was like, it's not real. It's right there. Everybody look at it. She definitely saw something.
Yes.
Did you see that?
Yes. So it was this lady on a plane, and she was like, that man is not, or was it that man's baby isn't real, or that man's
I
not
think
real?
it was that man. She was like, that man's not real. That man's not real. and she was freaking
She was like
out.
crying,
And
shaking,
and, like-
and they kicked her off the plane.
Yeah, so like
Oh,
they
I
hadn't
never even
left
heard about
that.
that.
They had just boarded it. And they
Oh,
were gonna
yeah, they
start
didn't kick her
leaving.
off mid-flight. I should have clarified
They just
that.
opened up a window
They're
and
like,
shut
you're
her
too
out.
weird.
But yeah, this lady, she definitely saw something like she definitely saw something that we're not supposed to see.
Yeah.
A part of the
Ooh.
simulation.
That's interesting. Like, what if they make certain things, I don't know, that like scare us or keep us away from finding out about the simulation? Yeah, like bugs, for example. Like, what if they put a lot of bugs in a certain area
Mhm.
to keep people who are like scared of bugs? Like, if you see a cockroach, then you're like really afraid of, like, oh, I don't want to go touch that, and then you like walk away from it. And what if it's there to keep you from going to certain
that's
areas?
good.
Well, let's talk about the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, we've never.
Ooh,
No one ever talks about that, but as a kid,
No one-
it was my
Yeah.
biggest fear.
Yeah,
no one
nobody-
talks about the
nobody
Bermuda
talks
Where
about
Triangle.
is it?
You don't know what it is?
in the
Okay.
It's like
ocean.
I know some about it, but
So
not a
it's
lot.
in the ocean, and it's just the spot where if its ship enters, you
Or a
don't hear from it
plane.
again.
Well, there's islands in the area because it goes from, oh my goodness, I should pull up the map. It goes from like a spot
use my
over by Europe, and then a point on the tip of Florida, and then a point like on like Bermuda Island. Or
Another
something.
reason not to like Florida.
Wow.
Oh,
Great
it wants
to
your
bring that
face.
But so you can just turn on
No, but
that.
there's no
Here, do you want me to just like?
No, but like
Yeah.
it just messes with like the electromagnetic field like in the area, I think, and it makes like radios and like engines stop working.
Yeah, so,
And-
like-
come back out, right? Like you can come back out.
I
I've
don't-
never heard of a story of someone coming back out.
Oh,
They
it
only ever
wants to know
talked
where
about-
we're at.
Yeah, they only ever
just-
talk about
just
the
allow,
stuff
I
that
don't care
doesn't,
if
but
it's
there's like
happy.
Home.
Okay.
dozens and dozens of these ships that just go like images. of,
ZZ
like,
has pulled up.
Okay.
crash.
So
Yeah.
it goes
Maybe.
from
No, I got
the
it.
tip
No,
of
she went to
Bermuda
Madagascar.
Island, which is like a UK territory, to San Juan, Puerto Rico,
Okay.
to Miami.
And inside of it is the Bahamas.
Yeah. So like the majority,
But like the very
but
middle,
but the Bahamas is at like the tip of
the
it.
very middle
Like the
is just
middle-
like in the middle of the
The
ocean.
middle is just the middle of the ocean.
The middle of the Atlantic.
Did Amelia Earhart? Did she survive or did she disappear?
She disappeared.
She disappeared
Yeah,
over
she
the
disappeared.
Arctic.
Oh my! So no,
That's
no,
what
no.
she was just talking
she
about.
She
did it?
disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle. That's my theory.
That's a good theory. Hold on, look up.
Look
Here.
at where she died.
Yeah,
I
hold
think
on.
it's, like,
Where
near it.
did Amelia? But someone keep talking so we don't listen to me. yammering to myself.
Okay. Another thing. This isn't really with like along the same lines as we're living in a simulation, but it is just like kind of another conspiracy theory. Have you ever seen like those videos of astronauts like recently?
Pacific Ocean. She died in the Pacific Ocean.
Oh,
it's
that's
in the
the
Atlantic.
Atlantic,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the wrong one.
No,
Or-
that's a
or-
lie. The government is
Or
lying
is
to us because they don't want
that what
us.
they want us to
That's
Yeah.
think?
true. It says
They
somewhere
changed the history.
somewhere near Howland Island. Howland Island.
How,
What
how
if
do they
they're
know
saying
that?
near?
Did they
Because
actually?
her
Did they
plane-
receive
They
her
never
body?
found
Her plane ran out of fuel, I guess.
Well, she was trying to go like all the way around.
Where
the
was
Earth,
she
right?
found? She apparently died on the island of Nikumaroro. Nikumaroro. I don't know how to say that.
In the
Nikumaroro.
south of Howland.
Nikumaroro.
Yeah, so oh, and apparently they found belongings of hers there. But those could have been planted easily.
Well, and
easily.
what I'm hearing is that they never actually found her body.
They said that they found bones, but that could also be
That could have been faked.
that
Was
could have
it?
been fake.
Did they do dental records? I maybe would believe that, but if they didn't find that, then no.
We have homework to do after this.
Oh,
My
did
bad.
you? That's okay. Okay, but so astronauts. Back to what I was saying.
Oh, are you talking about like the moon landing and stuff? Or
That
what are
one
you
we talked
talking
about last time, I think.
Well, so I do think that the moon landing is fake. I think it was a brilliant piece of propaganda to scare the USSR. Was it still the
To get
USSR?
bankrupt.
Yeah,
to
so
bankrupt
to bankrupt themselves trying to beat us in the space race.
I
But-
think it was real, but
But okay, but I also think it might be real because like first, like, have you ever seen like videos of astronauts like coming back in from like orbit or from space, and in like interviews they'll like pass out and it's like, oh, they're just readjusting to Earth. which is like okay,
It's
yes,
the truth,
that's
obviously.
true. That's true. But like also, what if they're like seeing
They're getting-
otherworldly things while they're out there? Do you know what I'm saying? And then like they come back and like they like can't recover.
Or it's
Yeah.
outside of the range of the simulation, and they leave the range of it,
Oh my
and then they see
goodness.
how it really is, and then they come back into it, and they can't
But
like
memories
their
like, go
minds
away.
can't
Yeah.
like ad-
comprehend it.
yeah can't comprehend like the transition.
What they saw.
Yeah,
That's really good.
yeah.
It's scary.
And I heard another one that who was the guy who landed on the moon again?
Neil
Armstrong?
Armstrong.
Yes. Okay. So, I think this was like AI generated, but I saw this thing. We need to have a whole separate episode about AI.
AI is going to be its whole discussion.
But so what I'm saying is that Neil Armstrong, there's this clip of him like talking on the thing, you know?
Uh-huh.
Like
I've seen,
on his little radio.
landing on the moon.
Yeah. And there's a clip that he said like, "Oh my goodness, they're here. Like they're all here. They've been watching us. Like alien satellites planted on the moon." Hold on, listen. And they like cut that out of the transmission because like they didn't want like
They don't want everyone to hear.
they didn't want our country or the world to hear about that. So they like.
Do we know if when he
Flipped
came
that.
back if he was different? Does anyone know? If he was
No.
changed at all?
Nope, I've never
That's
had
what I was
any
about to
interest
say.
in
Like,
it.
if there were aliens there, like, why didn't they kill him? Like, why did he come back
Well,
alive?
they might have probed him.
Unless it was like, okay,
They might have like put
And then he
like
came back to his skin.
like a recorder in his brain or something to see like to learn more research
Or they
about
took
it.
his skin.
Or the
Well, and,
Or
wait, only
It's a theory.
what movie
that's
is
gonna
it?
be the clip right before that
They took Neil Armstrong's skin.
Wait, what movie is it? Oh my goodness, is it Men in Black? That an alien
The
like
aliens, yeah.
like crawls inside of his
I
skin?
never watched that.
Oh, you never seen those movies?
No, but I know what
Have
you're
you?
talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're like just
They're
goofy.
creepy.
It's Will Smith. He's
Yeah, I know
you know
it's Will
funny
Smith.
actor,
Well,
did a
William-
good job.
William, our dear friend, was like,
Shout out to William Matthews.
That's the first shout out.
yeah,
Oh,
it
whoops.
is. But either way, he dressed up like that one year, I think, for Halloween.
Like an
As a Men
he
in
like
Black.
wore his
Yeah.
suit and okay,
And
I
like
get
the
it.
glasses and stuff.
I get it. Yeah. But so that was like my haul of conspiracy theories.
I think we did a whole good discussion.
That was a
on
good
that.
Good
Yeah.
discussion.
This
That was a
episode
good
was a little bit disjointed just because we didn't.
Well, so let's give some context.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to actually be 2 different episodes. We were supposed to talk about living in the simulation for an hour and then the normalization thing for an hour, but we couldn't rationalize how that's gonna work.
We just didn't see how we would
So-
actually be able to discuss those
So we
each
drag
for an
it out
hour.
for an
Yeah.
hour.
So we merged them. So now, and also all the previous episodes, we had a plan on what to talk about. This one we just wrote down, like under the name, we basically just restated the name in question. So like on the notes
Hold
app,
on,
it
let's
says,
open the
yeah,
notes
so-
because it's funny.
So that's why we're so discombobulated, because like last time we had like a list. The time before that we just kind of came up with stuff. And this
Mhm.
time it's a little bit more different.
And
Well,
we
and not
just joined
that-
like 15 minutes before you
No, we
guys
didn't even
started.
know.
And we had these two.
But I loved it. You just texted me and it was like, so like question. And I was like, yeah, what's up?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yes, we want guests. So here's what it says. Episode 3, we're living in a simulation. Bullet point. Life is a simulation. There are things that aren't real. That's all we had.
What things aren't real? We don't know. We just figured we'd figure it out.
Yeah.
We have.
And then episode 4 was supposed to be, why is that normalized? And it just says stuff that's normalized in public that shouldn't be, stuff that isn't normalized that should be.
So again, we just restated the title in question form.
Yeah, but not that we like have to have a set plan every episode because we just kind of got in the groove of talking.
Well, yeah, it's kind of fun when it's just like natural, anyways. But Kevin, gracious Kevin, has Googled a list
Gracious.
of things that should be normalized
Or is it that
or a
they
thing that should
shouldn't
not be
normalize?
normalized?
Things that shouldn't be normalized.
Okay,
Let's get into it.
Kevin, get into it.
Okay. I have like two lists, but I'll go back to like this first one
Okay.
And these are things that should be normalized?
that shouldn't be
Oh,
normalized.
Okay.
shouldn't.
Things that should not be.
Like being in debt.
Being in debt should not be normalized.
Mhm.
That's true.
Well, and we talked about this in our economics class
Yeah, we did.
last
We
during our
talked
senior
about
year.
how it's like so normal nowadays to just take out loans on everything.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
student debt is just totally normal
Being like
for
hundreds
everyone.
of thousands of dollars
Right?
in debt,
Yeah.
Like
and you're
it's
just constantly owing people.
like that's so
their
normal.
student
It
life.
shouldn't be. That's
Yeah.
true.
Which, like, there are some things that, like, a loan is necessary. Like, purchasing a house. That's a gigantic
Yeah.
purchase.
Well,
So, like,
even,
having a mortgage is
Well,
understandable.
even student loans can be normalized.
Yeah,
'cause
like-
schooling is really, really, really expensive.
Yeah, like, taking out, student loans, like,
But you shouldn't
like-
be putting out loans for I don't know, a new driveway or something.
yeah, like, I at least, like, my opinion is just, like, you shouldn't just be, like, pulling out a loan, like, every time you think you want money.
Yeah, right?
Just, it would
Like,
be
oh.
nice to have, like, a boat, just all of a sudden.
And then you're stuck paying that off for the next 25 years.
Yeah.
Or the fact that like we like some people have to do that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's normalized that people like have to do stuff like that and then set their financial situation up for failure just because they can't get paid.
Well,
enough.
and
Mhm.
most teachers don't teach teenagers nowadays that should not be normalized.
Mhm.
It's just like it's taught. I mean, now they're starting to change it, but it used to just be taught to tell everyone like, yeah, just like go pull out loans on whatever you need.
Mhm.
That was way too normalized. That's true.
Yeah, but Zarin had a good one like before the podcast started, and it was there's one that we all agreed on. What was yours?
Wait,
Well,
the
we
first
It
one
was
that
about
I
the
said?
children.
Oh, okay. So,
I don't
we
remember.
need to I think we need to normalize children leashes. Like,
putting leashes
putting
on
on
yes,
children.
putting leashes on little
But
kids.
cute ones, not
Yes, the
like
cute
not
ones,
like
the
a
little,
collar,
like,
like the
not
the
a collar.
backpack
backpack
with
with the
animals.
clip.
Yeah, it'd be
Yes.
like a little monkey backpack, and the
Yes.
leash is the
Aw.
tail.
Yeah.
Like-
See,
like-
my sister had that one.
Exactly.
Yes.
See?
So, like, for instance, my
What's
niece,
Florida?
Rayleigh.
She would just run away all the time.
Well, see, that's what we don't want. We don't want the
'Cause it's
children to get
Florida.
kidnapped.
Yeah, like, for instance, my niece, Rayleigh, had this cute one. It was a pink dog that just clipped around her, and, like, we would have her wear it when we went to Six Flags. Like, there's tons of people at,
Yeah.
like, amusement parks. You don't want your kid getting snatched. But, like, people were glaring at me when I was walking with her. And I was like, I'm just trying to make sure that she doesn't run away or get snatched, people.
Exactly.
So, like, normalize having your kid on a leash.
Well, in little kids, it's so
Yeah.
natural for them to just see something and start running.
Yeah.
I think,
Mm-hmm.
were you and I leash children, Kev?
No, I don't think we ever had leashes.
Someone had
but
a
we
leash
would
in our
just
family.
run away.
Kevin and I were the two who ran away the most. We would just walk.
We just wander. We just be
Wow.
like,
Well, we would just be like, oh my goodness, what's that? Oh my goodness, and we'd like be like 100 feet away from our parents at that point, and so it was chaos.
screaming.
We were chaos. But I'm gonna
We
put.
turned out fine.
I will put. Did we? I will put my children on leashes in a heartbeat if it means that they won't get grabbed or they won't go trip in a fountain and then drown. I
Yeah.
don't want that.
Trips in a fountain.
You never know.
You never know.
The darnest things. Literally.
They do the darnest things.
It's the truth though. You don't know what can happen, especially with little kids, because they don't have thoughts yet. Everything that goes on in their mind, we don't know. We don't know what they're thinking. We don't know what little kids are capable of. They're capable of anything, especially in a public space.
Well, never mind. It's not on topic.
No, go off topic. Who cares?
What?
So, you were saying, like, kids don't, like, have thoughts.
Yeah.
Or, like, they can't, like, express their thoughts well. And they can't always comprehend things well. I'm reading Dune, the first book in Dune, right? Which I've read before.
Mhm.
And in the second movie, I haven't finished it, but you don't see Jessica have her daughter yet, right? She doesn't give birth yet.
No.
Okay. In the book, they do like a 3-year jump. So her daughter, Alia, I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. But she's 3 years old. But she underwent the same thing that Jessica did when Jessica became a Reverend Mother. So Alia, like, comes out with an adult mind. She's born with an adult mind. So, like, yeah, and so all of the Fremen are like freaked out by it
Because
because she's like 2-3 years old, having like grown up conversations and understanding like adult emotions.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, and
That's weird.
but what my point in this is, what if that happened in real life? What would you do?
I'd be terrified. Honestly, if I was like, how are you doing? They're like, I'm doing swell, mother. I'd freak out. Like, I would start panicking.
They're like, my neurons are stimulated at the moment. Something weird.
My frontal lobe is developed.
I normalize drop kicking.
Maybe
Like, get away from me,
that
baby.
needs to come in handy.
But so that was off topic. I'm sorry, but I was
No,
reading
I liked
today.
it, Zarin. I
Off
liked it.
topic led to like child murder.
That is not
Well, wow,
violence
we don't.
against children.
This is not promoting child violence. Just so everyone knows, we aren't promoting that.
At least once an episode, we have to say that.
We have to do this. We have to say we're not promoting political parties. We're not promoting child abuse. We do this every episode. I think
You're like Sid. You're like, we do this every year.
I think at some point we are definitely going to have to talk about elderly abuse, because this has been a topic of me in our English class. So off topic, but in English we have to write these poems. If anyone knows what an acrostic poem is, you have a word. Let's say it's like my name, Madison, and then on each letter you come up with like a line.
Mm-hmm.
So mine would always be about old people. So it'd be like making old people fall down. It's funny. But it's like apples hit the old person on the head. Ha. Stuff like that. And I'd write the whole poem to be
I don't
about
know
like,
if you should be exposing yourself like this.
No, I'm setting myself up so that in the future
Okay.
when I start saying that like old people should die or something, people know the context of why I'm saying this.
But Maddie
We're not
doesn't
gonna
promote
ever
elderly.
I
I don't promote it though. Anyways.
I think it might be time to move on to the next one.
Oh yeah.
Miss Johnson, if you're hearing this, I hope you're laughing.
What are other ones? It's like one of them is like making content with unsuspecting strangers. Like going like up to people in public with a camera, you shove it in their face, and then you go and you make like a video out of it.
Yeah.
You know, something like that. And like they normalize
Or, like-
videotaping people.
Or like if
without
someone's
consent.
eating in public, I've seen videos of people eating in public and then they
Mhm.
film them and it's like, ew, why are they chewing like that?
Yeah, and then they
That's
post
traumatic.
it. Yeah, they post it just for social media, like rip them a new one.
I would
Yeah, no.
I would honestly be like traumatized if I looked on TikTok and I saw a video of me walking in public and someone's like, this is the posture you don't want to have, or something like that.
And you have like 50,000 comments about ugly. What's that turtle doing?
Is that Master Uguay?
See, that's
He's
why.
old. He should die.
That's exactly what I.
Yeah.
That's what I would not want at all. And so yeah, I agree, Kevin. That shouldn't be normalized.
I think like do you normalize like you said, like making social media content with strangers, and also I feel like do you normalize making social media content and making it look like you're doing it with strangers, but it's actually someone that you know when you like put them up to it.
Like the people, like
Oh.
the vloggers who go up and they're like, how much is your New York City apartment?
Yes,
they're
and then they
they're
like get a
It's
tour.
like $40,000 a month, and they're like, can I get a tour? And the like 19-year-old girls are like, yeah, and it's like some rich apartment. They know each other.
And the girl's like, this is actually my dad's. Like, no, they knew each other beforehand. This wasn't a random encounter.
I would never ever, if someone came up and asked me what my monthly mortgage was, I would run. I would sprint the other way. I'd get my pepper spray out.
You'd
I'd
be
start
like,
running.
why? And they're like, I just want to go in through your drawers.
I just want to look through your entire house right now. No! Are you kidding me? No!
I want to go steal some food.
have my house on the internet? No, that's weird. So yeah, they know each other.
It'd be weird.
Let's-
Well,
I was going to say, you say that, but we're also the people that told our phone numbers on a podcast.
I would just
in
follow
public.
your lead, buddy.
You know what? I think it's about time to do that again.
We're not doing that with it. No, ZB, actually stop it. Third.
My phone number is 661-407-5 5902 if anyone would like to text us individually and let us
Okay,
know.
I have done this every episode. I'm just gonna stop it now. If you want my number, go back to the previous episodes and go comb it through, and you'll find it. Okay.
We would do that, but like we don't know each other's phone numbers like through memory. I know mine and she knows hers.
I
But
don't know Darren's.
I know the first 6 numbers of yours.
that
but
doesn't
then
do
the
jack
last
squat.
one-
Yeah.
It does. Hey, listen, it's better because you don't know anything of mine.
No, I don't.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know yours, Maddie.
I don't.
But also, we're not married,
Yours
so.
has a 6 in it.
Pressure.
You just said this.
I don't remember it. I don't know it. I don't know anyone's phone numbers. I know my mom's, my dad's, and mine, and that's all that I know.
Okay.
That's all you really need.
That's all that you need, because
I
everything
think-
else is just in your contacts.
Well, but also, I think maybe, like, we should normalize, maybe not knowing people's phone numbers, but normalize knowing people's, like, maybe, like, addresses more.
Oh yeah.
Because, like, what happens when we have a technology blackout? Like, what happens when the apocalypse hits and we don't have any of that information, like, recorded somewhere hard copy?
Well, or even like something that I think about, like whenever I go to someone's house, is what if we're inside, like having a party or something with some friends or like a hangout, and something happens, like a medical emergency, and no one knows the address, then someone's having to run out. Or like, what if it's just a one-on-one, like if you're with someone else and you have to be with them, you don't know what to tell you don't know what address to tell the responder.
Yeah.
Because you don't know it.
No.
So I think that's something that we should know.
One time, my elderly, like, she's not really my neighbor. She lives, like, a bunch of streets over. But she had fallen down. Me and my dad went to, like, go help her. And I was like, I'm just going to call, 911 because we don't know, like, if she's, like, seriously injured or anything. We didn't know her address. He had to go through her house and find, like, an envelope that had her address written on it so that he could tell the, like, operator.
Yeah. See, I would rather have all my friends, but that's a lot of memorizing. But
Mhm.
I mean, they used to do it all the time back then.
Yeah.
The house in Eagle Mountain. I literally had this exact same thought the other day when we were in Utah about like, what if something happens right now? Like, how am I
Right?
supposed to know, like, where, like, how to tell people? And the only reason I knew is because I went to DoorDash and I saw I saw the address, and that's how I was like,
I have
this
it
is
memorized just because it's a super easy address, but I'm not saying that on the podcast. Immediately, I almost said it.
If
I
you
almost
want,
said it, but I
if
did
you
not.
want to send any gifts, my address is.
Darren-
I'm just kidding.
I was actually gonna like pinch you really hard.
No, I'm just teasing.
Okay, but another thing that I saw on Kevin's list, back to the normalization thing, is beauty pageants for kids.
I was gonna
Julie,
mention
did
that
you
next.
ever participate in one?
No,
Okay.
but I would watch shows.
Yeah, see, like
beauty
ZZ
pageants.
watches Dance Moms and stuff like that. I don't think I don't think it should be as big as it is. That's so because a lot of these kids either turn out weird or they just get a bad
Shout out to
self-image.
JoJo
I was
Siwa.
gonna say let's take
Jack
JoJo Siwa for
Yeah,
example.
thank you, JoJo Siwa, because you're a great example for this. You turned out really weird.
Yeah, and like, I think, well, and honestly, I think it's a combination of things. I think it's that there's so much pressure on her as a little child. Abby Lee Miller was abusive,
Yes.
and like,
See, but it's not the beauty pageants themselves. It's the different
It's the
factors,
pe-
like you were saying.
Right.
Well, I also
So it's
think
like
that
you could have the pageants. It's just
They shouldn't.
Well,
well,
I think
the
I think the
factors.
concept of beauty pageants for kids is just weird, anyways. Like
Mhm.
we're just like
we're
you're looking-
judging little
you're
6-year-olds on
you're
their looks.
objectively looking at like the beauty of 6-year-olds. Like that's just creepy.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
like,
and they
Well,
look for
Well, is it better
personality.
if it's natural beauty then? Like natural beauty compared to like the stage makeup? Is
no,
that what
I
you're
don't think
saying?
that they should
Well,
do
not
like
in
in
the whole
general.
concept in
The
general.
whole
I just think
concept
the
is
whole
looking
concept
at a
in
little
general.
kid and like saying that one's prettier than that one at the ripe age of like 4 is
Mhm.
really weird.
or like
That's true.
that one's talent was better than
Yeah,
another
well-
one's. Like the comparisons that these 6-7-year-olds are undergoing at their age is outrageous.
And that's another one because
Yeah.
little kids don't. I mean, they have personality, obviously, but they don't.
They haven't found
They
themselves
haven't
yet.
found themselves, so they're just
That's
doing
true.
whatever their mom is like. Oh, this would be good for a pageant.
Mhm.
Like, go learn how to throw darts really well. What little kid?
And now they're knowing, oh yeah,
What?
little Susie's always gonna be better
Yeah.
than me, and I suck.
Yeah,
Exactly.
mhm.
So
And it's
then,
like-
so then they start thinking like, oh well, I didn't win, so I need to do better next year, and that's what they're just gonna keep thinking.
Or
And
just the fact that like they weren't pretty enough, and so like the fact that they weren't pretty means that they
They'll never
didn't
be
win,
good.
and they weren't good enough, so they need to be pretty. The prettier they are, then the more that they'll like,
Exactly.
succeed in life,
Mhm.
and people will like them.
And I don't think that's okay for a little kid.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a lot of pressure.
Mhm.
Others better. You guys see the movie Dumpling?
Mm-mm.
No, but I've heard about it.
No? That's
No.
a cute movie. It's
What
about
is it?
pageants.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's when you're older. It's about a girl who's a little bigger and she wants to join a pageant compared to her mom. It's Jennifer Aniston.
Oh yeah.
Oh, mhm.
And she like breaks the norm. That's all.
Oh.
Well, and that's another thing. Well, that had a happy ending because a lot of like real life stuff, it's not that happy for the cute little bigger girls. They always get pushed out of the
But
pageant.
I feel like it's doing better now.
It's
Mm.
doing
Is it
better
not?
now.
Right?
The most recent Miss Universe was like considered like a plus size
Really?
like
Okay,
pageant.
then that's good for her.
I believe so.
Because
I
back-
would Google it.
Back when I would
Yeah,
watch
she was.
like old like 2000s, not modeling, but pageant stuff like on TikTok, like those old compilations, it was always just the thinnest
Mhm.
girls, and then like if they were even a little bit like normal size, they're like, no, I just don't like the look of you. Like, are we
Mhm.
joking? Are you kidding? So at least it's doing better now.
Okay, well, this is something. Okay, this might be controversial, but like something I don't think should be normalized. Like going off of that is like if you're too tiny, like kind of like what you're saying,
Mhm.
like too petite, then that should be seen as like the norm. Or if you're too plus sized,
Mhm.
then that should be like considered
Like
acceptable
There's a
and
happy
healthy.
medium.
Yeah, like you said, normal size.
Yeah.
You know that's like a range.
like,
it's a
and-
pretty good spectrum of like what can be considered, but like we shouldn't be promoting. Like people shouldn't promote
Certain
like
sizes.
Yeah.
like super like obese people.
Yes.
Like
Like
Oh my god.
As
like example like Lizzo. I love
Yeah.
Lizzo, but she's a very large woman.
yeah,
But like she like people are like, well, she's just like preaching body positivity, and I'm like, that's good. Like I want everyone to feel good about themselves,
But I
but
want them
also
to be
like she shouldn't
healthy.
be promoting people to be like
Unhealthy.
dangerously
Well,
overweight.
yeah, and
like
it's-
unhealthy.
And it's normal for people's body weight to fluctuate. Like as you grow up, your body weight is going to go up and down, no matter like just because of life circumstances.
Yeah.
So that's normal. Like you can gain weight and you can lose weight, but you shouldn't be gaining weight to the point of it being really unhealthy, and then saying like, oh well, I mean like you're still beautiful, but you don't have to be like, oh well, I'm beautiful and you suck if you call me fat.
to the point where you're looking like a Wally looking character.
Oh, he's like in the like chairs.
In their chairs. And they're like, I'm pretty.
Okay, like 1,000-pound sisters.
Yeah,
Oh
we'll
my
see
God.
like that.
Like the one that never
I don't
lost
know.
weight and like
Tammy.
yes.
Wait,
What's
no,
that?
there's not a page.
Well, no. That's the one that did lose weight.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes, the one that did lose.
Christina.
So that clip that you're talking about, there's the one that
Skinnier.
like
Oh,
decided
yeah.
to lose weight,
Well,
and
she
there's
lost
one that
tons.
stayed like very large. And the one that stayed really large is like you don't know how it is. And then the other
There are things that you can do that I cannot do.
no, she says, Tammy, there are things that you can do. And she,
Oh, I just saw this clip yesterday.
yes, and then the larger one says something back.
You
don't
know.
Yeah,
How it is.
yeah, but the larger sister says something back, and then the thinner sister is like, she says something about like, I pay my bills, and the other sister
Grow
says,
up.
well, the other sister says, I pay my bills too, my bills are paid, and then the other girl says, grow up.
Grow
Yeah.
up. Like promoting stuff like that is not okay.
Mm-mm.
But let's switch it up real quick. Let's go into things that are not normalized that should be. I've been feeling this one. Me and Zizi were talking about this. Normal bodily functions.
Oh, yeah.
If you let out a 2 in class, that should be more normal.
Yeah.
If it's a big old blowout, go to the restroom for heaven's sake. But a little, that's okay.
Yeah, and like, okay, I'm guilty of like if I'm laughing really hard, or if like my body is contorted
slips
in
out.
some sort of like strange position, then yeah, like a little fart will slip out every once in a while. Let's just like normalize not making fun of people for that.
Or if
But
you
you
are,
can't just ignore it though.
if you are
say
gonna do something like that, then you need to make it funny. Like you just mentioned blowout, so I thought of like the person from Frozen. So if you're gonna like do a big old fart, then you should be like, yoo-hoo! Big farty blowout! And then people laugh, and then it's not so weird.
That would be funny. You did it
Anyways,
like
I
that.
need to write that
And
down.
everyone
That
would
was so
forget
good.
about like the fart.
But like, say excuse me and everything.
Yeah,
Or like make it funny, but if you just like if you're taking a test out of nowhere, you just hear and then you just stay absolutely silent, people are gonna laugh at you. And,
yeah.
like that's sad. So if you say excuse me, or at least
Try to like normalize that.
try to step out.
Oh my goodness. Do you remember? I don't want to say his name.
Oh,
Okay, so in elementary school, we're gonna call this kid Anthony. In elementary school, there's this kid named Anthony. When he had to fart, he would get up and run to the door and like stick his butt out the door. He wouldn't walk out. He would just stick his butt out the door, and you would hear like an atomic blast out the classroom door, and then
echoed.
yeah, because it was like out into the hallway. But the teacher would be like, Angela, why'd you get out of your seat? And he's like, I'm sorry, like I had to like pass gas. Like he would use like kind of like a longer term.
Yeah,
for it.
he'd use like I don't know, like I had to release like actual air or something.
Yeah, but
that should be like a thing, like a bathroom pass. It could be like a fart pass.
Yeah,
like a toot pass.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I had something that I think should be normalized.
What?
I think that changing your clothes in public should be normalized.
Okay.
Hear me out here.
No,
I will hear
I
you
mean,
out.
yes, but you know how many naked kids I've seen at the beach that just
Oh my
stand
gosh!
out there?
Oh my gosh!
It's like there are spots for that.
When we went for Tommy's birthday, did you guys see that one?
Yeah.
So there's this one kid who was parked, and I looked over at the car. I was just chilling, listening to music. I looked over. There is just this full-on naked child. Not even like a little kid. He's probably like he was like 6. It looked like he
A
was
little,
just
he looked a
little
little
chunky
older than
6-year-old.
he was chunky. He was just sitting there, fully naked, just staring. I was like, oh my gosh!
Just like behind this car, and like his cheeks were just staring out.
Well, so I was gonna say to an extent, not butt naked, but like, so like when I took my senior pictures, I did it up in Tehachapi, downtown Tehachapi, and I had like a couple outfit changes.
Mhm.
I was not about to walk all the way back to our car, change in my car, and then go back to the next spot we needed pictures. I was down to my chonies on the corner of like a busy street, like in front of a restaurant. But I was like shamelessly changing my outfit. You know, I kept everything that needed to be covered.
Yeah.
So like
that's
normalize
makes sense.
that. Like normalize being able to like change in public as long as you're not like exposing
That also
anything.
happened at prom because at
I
prom,
do it all the
our
time.
junior year, us and our friend Bradley, we went to prom, and then afterwards we were like in the middle of like a boulevard street, and we were just parked in the middle, and we were like, oh shoot, like we brought PJs, so we'll change. They covered up the window so that I could change in the car, but the boys just changed outside, and there were like crackheads just staring in the alleyways, like staring at all of us.
Did Bradley change? I can't remember.
Bradley changed, I thought.
Yeah,
I don't know. Bradley, if you're listening to this, you can answer.
So context, I wore a white suit that year,
Yeah.
a white 3-piece suit. So if I wore any underwear that weren't white, you could see it through the pants. So I was in like tidy whities on this boulevard with like crackheads peeking at me, and I was just like,
well, they were just sitting there staring at us. So that's why they covered up the windows. But I feel like if you're covered, then yeah, that should be normalized.
Yeah.
I agree. Do you guys have anything that should be normalized?
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe like accepting help.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Or I don't know, because like when we were getting married, like we accepted a lot of help from my family. Like this is my grandparents' house, and like my mom's childhood house right here. And this is like where we're currently staying, and we got help getting like a car and stuff like that. But Julie's side of the family wasn't like they had different opinions on like we should like you shouldn't be accepting like this much help, or like blah 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 stuff like that. And I think like some people have that viewpoint of like you need to do everything yourself and not accept help from others, and like otherwise you'll be like too dependent, which like I get, but like I don't know,
You guys are
because then
young.
you have to be in like that debt situation, like what we
Exactly.
were talking about earlier. And so I think like you should be humble enough to accept help when you need it.
But like
Mhm.
also be like grateful for it. Like you guys were grateful for it, but the people who are just like, yeah, like you guys can pay for everything and I'm just gonna
Like
sit back.
expect it.
Yeah, like expect it. That's
Mhm.
not okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
And-
should normalize like accepting people to like give you help.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not to say like her side of the family didn't help out at all.
Oh, no.
Like they helped like so much for the wedding.
No, they just
And
had
they-
different views.
Yeah, and they helped
like
out in certain
experience and
aspects like
stuff.
that, and then our family helped out in certain aspects over here, and but it was just like different viewpoints. So
I have a good list.
yeah,
Oh,
So-
well,
Oh yeah.
I had one
You
more
had a
thing
thought.
in my brain.
Okay.
Do you normalize talking on the phone in public to an extent?
Oh, on
Okay,
speakerphone.
Okay, no. Okay. Oh, so yes, on
Yes.
speakerphone.
No, on speakerphone.
No, I'm agreeing
Yeah.
that
Oh,
you shouldn't
okay.
be on
He's
speakerphone.
Okay,
saying
yeah,
don't
'cause,
do it
like,
on
no.
speakerphone.
Because first of all, like then like your whole conversation is aired out to whoever is around.
Which is so
And-
annoying.
I'm an eavesdropper, so like best believe I'm listening if
Oh,
you
yeah.
have your phone on speaker.
Oh yeah, even if it's not on speaker, even if the volume is slightly loud and I'm
Mhm.
standing near you in a
Yeah.
public space, I will be listening to that.
I'm leaning over here, and if you're talking on the phone, I'm like this all of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I 100% agree. But so what I originally meant was like I guess specifically like denormalize being on the phone in lines. Because like
Mhm.
I go to the store all the
Oh.
time. And I was in line for I can't remember if it was like an actual register or if it was like a self checkout. But when a worker came and put like a this lane is closed sign on
Mhm.
my like shopping cart. And a lady comes in and gets in line behind me, but she's on the phone. She has like earbuds in and is on the phone. So and it was really crammed. I think it was at like a Costco. So, Costco's are like typically
Mhm.
pretty busy. So it was kind of crammed in there. And I thought she was going to be in the line next to us,
Yeah.
And so I'm waiting and I specifically like moved so that she could see the sign that said lane closed, but I wasn't going to interrupt her because she was on the phone in a line.
Mhm.
So we're going, and then all of a sudden, she's like, "What the heck?" Says that to me, and I was like, "Excuse me." and she was like, "When were you going to tell me the lane was closed?" And I said, "I'm sorry, you were on the phone in line."
Oh, yes,
Like, I was like,
Gigi.
I couldn't tell if you were in my line and someone else's line, but I wasn't going to interrupt the phone call that was so important that you were going to not
Yes,
pay
Gigi.
not pay anyone else attention.
They were like this.
Fuck off.
I didn't
Speak
like.
your truth.
Well, I didn't actually go that nuts on her, but like in my head.
Okay,
that-
no, I do that too. Like I will
In
have
the shower later, and then he was like, "Yeah, this is what I should have said."
He was laying in bed. He was just daydreaming about all the conversations he could have had instead of what
No,
he
but
actually
He
did.
broke out of the simulation
In real
for a
life.
second.
In real life, he's like, "Okay, ma'am, thank you so much."
But in real life, they did say I was like, you were on the phone. I wasn't gonna interrupt your phone call. I thought you had saw the sign.
Yeah.
And she was like, it's whatever.
Well,
And she,
does
like,
she see a
moved-
name tag on you? You were not the worker.
Yeah, that's another thing. I
Or is
was
she
a
getting mad at
worker.
you? You didn't close the line.
Yeah.
That's her
and
problem.
Also, it was like 5:00. Why was Costco closing lanes at 5?
Yeah.
Do you know
Right
what
as
I'm
people are
saying?
getting off work.
Yeah, but so if this lady is for whatever reason listening to this podcast, I'm still not over this. But so
We will find you.
But so like I guess the point is like denormalize being on your phone when you should be paying attention to like what's going on around you.
We're gonna be combing through our listeners later, just so y'all know, looking for this one lady.
if she comments on the YouTube, we're coming for you in the comments.
But no, Zizi, I like that.
Wait, but earlier we did talk about like tipping culture.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
Like stop normalizing tipping culture,
For
especially in the
everything.
U.S. or like in certain parts of the U.S.
It's so
Yeah.
extra. Like, it's actually literally just your job to do the work, and you're expecting someone to
Or-
tip you for it.
Or
I
like
always get anxious that it's not actually recorded.
How long are we?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I haven't been checking.
We're at 50 minutes.
Okay, so 10 more minutes ish.
10, 15.
Yeah.
But like, okay, but this is like a two-parter because it can go into both parts of like the topic. It's like we should normalize paying the workers enough to not need a tip,
Yes.
Yeah.
and then stop normalizing that they should be expecting a tip for like doing nothing.
Well, like,
Because
Or
they're
doing a bad job.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
I've had that too.
Yeah.
I have people have done my nails and crappy job, and they're like, tip me.
Yeah,
You have to
and-
tip me. And
no.
I'm like, why? You did horrible.
or like or like waitresses, like they didn't cook my food.
yeah, it's their job to carry it. Like,
They just carried it
I
to
also
me.
I get tipping some waitresses, like if they do like extra stuff for you.
Yeah,
but-
if they're really nice.
But like
Yeah.
if they're and also back to the like nail thing, I got a bad haircut. In case any of you are looking at this video, I have bangs now.
They're really cute. Don't listen to Maddie. They look great.
I still tipped that woman because on the little kiosk, she was staring over the counter, looking at it, saying, "Okay, so now you can pick 15, 30, or 50% tip." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, for $40 haircut, really? This is what we're doing right now? Really?"
That's when you just say, yeah, no, thank
Well,
you.
she was staring into my soul, so I was like, I guess I'll tip 15%. But and like I don't also like it when there's no like custom option because otherwise I just tip 1%.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
I would
you
tip
can
a
pick.
1% because then they
I-
still
I
see it's a
tip
tip,
nothing.
but it could be a 3-cent.
If they've ever
Tip.
done a bad thing like that to me and they like stare at me when I do that, I've like sometimes I like look up and I look right into their eyes and I click and I take my card and I'm like, bye.
Have a great day.
Or not.
But yeah, tipping needs to like chill out because it's for every job. Like they could throw a frozen food item into a deep fryer and then serve it to me and say, "Hey, tip me." No, are you
I could
lying
go to
to
the
me?
car wash and then the person who's like back who's like, yeah, go into the lines the right way. He like comes up to the window, he's like, do you want tip?
Tip me, huh?
Or like, but I do understand like you said tipping if they go like above and beyond.
Yeah,
Like for instance, sorry, I just interrupted
no,
you.
I was yeah.
But like for instance, like one time me and my family went on a cruise, and excuse me, and like you have the same waitress the whole like length of the cruise, so it was like a 5-day or something.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this like same waitress for 5 days, and she seriously was like a top tier waitress. Like we would be in and out in like of the dining room, and it's supposed to be, you know, kind of like higher end. We'd be in and out in like 45 minutes just because she was so quick with like our orders and our food. She always remembered what everyone had. She would remember our drinks. She remembered what ice cream that I wanted every night.
Then yeah, that's
And so
definitely a tip.
we tipped her like extra because we were like, you like kind of went above and beyond what like we like expected.
when-
Yeah, you
when
deserve
that-
it.
when-
Yeah,
when
like she
they
worked
deserve
hard
it.
for that.
But
She
if-
deserved it.
If they're like a crappy waiter who just shows up, drops the food off,
Yeah,
doesn't even like
Doesn't get the order right.
They don't get the order right. They just kind of put the food on the table and expect us to dish it out and stuff.
Oh my goodness.
That is not a tip worthy waiter. That's no. They shouldn't expect one. And so and like they can't act mad at you when you're leaving because we didn't tip you. Like, I'm sorry, that's your problem. You're still getting a paycheck, are you? Yes, you are.
Well, like one time
I can't get this money back from this crappy meal.
my dad made like a $300 tip.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
So listen.
Did they propose?
No, listen. So
Did they give you a puppy?
no, listen. So it was like a long time ago. I can't remember where he was even working, but he was like young, and this like biker gang like came into the restaurant, and his friend who worked there was like, I don't want to serve them. They look scary. Will you? And he was like, yeah, like sure. So we went. All they ordered was like a couple rounds of drinks, but he like remembered who got what. And they were like, we've never had like a waiter or waitress remember like our drinks and like refilled them like as well as you did or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so they left him like $150 cash like on the table. And then I don't know if it was like the same person or a different member of the biker gang or what, left another $150 dip via like card.
That's
So
crazy.
like in total, it was like a $300 tip for one table who just ordered drinks.
That's crazy. See, like,
Just because he like remembered their drink.
see,
That's
like,
cool.
yeah, that's a cool story. So that's the kind of tipping that like should be normalized. Like if they do a really good job, give them a good tip. But honestly, it should not be as crazy as it is right now because it's so expected.
Like if you don't do anything, then like
You don't
You
deserve
don't
one.
get one.
you don't deserve it.
But okay, I have a list.
Are there
So
any-
one of them, eating out alone. I feel like that's true. That should be normalized
Oh,
because
like you should.
like if you
Okay.
if like that's usually the people who get filmed without consent is like
Is
someone's
lonely
filming them
people.
and they're like
Yeah.
POV like your wife just died. Like I saw a video that said that and they're like I actually don't know this person like in the caption and I was shocked because I was like you don't know this person, but you're making up a story about them. Like I do that when I people watch. I'll be like, I'll see someone walking a dog, and I'll think, oh, like that dog just like I don't know, like I'll come up with a story, but you shouldn't be posting it. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Affection between men. What is our opinion on that? Or between different sexes that's purely platonic.
Oh, like platonic relationships?
Like a hug between guy friends.
Like a bro hug?
Like a bro hug.
Well,
Who is not
that is
normalizing
normal.
that?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, I feel like that is normal.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that is pretty normalized.
I see a lot of my guy friends hug. That's fine.
Yeah.
I feel like some guys are more touchy-feely than girls
A
are.
4-day work week.
Oh,
normalize that.
I like that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that'd be nice.
That way,
Well-
have a 3-day weekend.
My brother-in-law works a 4-day work week.
mhm.
That's what our
He-
school schedule is.
Yeah.
That's our class schedule.
Well, and like, I don't know. I just feel like, why not? Do you know what I'm saying? If you can arrange your hours to only have to work 4 days, then
I think some congressman was like trying to put that in place. I think like Bernie Sanders is like he's legit like trying to convince like pass a bill that is like across the United States a 4-day work week that doesn't affect your pay or hours. I mean it just reduces like from a 40-week work week to a 32 work week. You don't lose money.
yeah,
And
like
so-
well, like all you have to do is adjust your hours during the days, like what you said.
Yeah, but they just take out a full 8 hours.
Oh,
and
then
they, So
good.
like the normal work week is just 32. But because your brother-in-law, he works like 12-hour day. No, like
I
9
think he
hour
works
days,
4
10
tens.
10-hour days. Yeah, he
Mhm.
works like 10-hour days, 4 days a week.
Yeah.
So still 40 hours.
Yeah, it's still a 40-hour work week.
Oh, I have a good
Yeah.
one. Talking about talking more openly about death and loss. I like that.
Mm.
Because
Oh,
like
mhm.
whenever we have a death in the family, and I'll tell people like, oh yeah, like my aunt died or something, they're like, oh
Some
my gosh,
people will,
they're like you should be shunning that conversation from people.
or like some
Like,
people
what?
like shut down. They don't know how to respond.
Yeah, so they just
say,
like
I'm sorry, and then they're like, they don't know what else to
exactly
say.
Mhm.
they're like, I'm so sorry for your loss, and then they just like sit there, and I'm like, well, that wasn't what I was telling you about a story about her. Like I was saying, oh yeah, like she liked peanuts or whatever. I don't know. I'm just coming up with something, and then they're like so taken aback, and they're like, I don't know. Like, have you ever had that happen?
Yeah,
Where
I
people
know.
are just like
Or-
uncomfortable at the topic of you mentioning death.
I used to like
Yeah.
do that in school, but like with grandma.
Yeah.
But like not this grandma, but like the other grandma, and I'd just be like, yeah, my grandma committed suicide, and so, and they wouldn't know how to.
Right?
how to-
Like, I've
they're
done
just
that
like, what are you
too.
talking about? I'm like, I'm just thinking about it.
I've
And they're
done,
like,
I've done that too. Like when you talk about certain things, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, like my uncle did that to himself," and they're like, "What?" And they're like
Like
they're,
they just don't know
terrified.
how to respond.
Like I feel like we should talk about that more often because
Mhm.
people who have not gone through loss don't know how to react to it. That
They should
be,
learn what to say or how to react to it. Because
Exactly.
it's like, it's not that we need to, what's it
You
called?
don't need to dwell on it. Like
Yeah.
sit there and like feel weird that they're mentioning death.
Mm-hmm.
Like it happens.
It's normal.
And you don't need to be freaked out.
yeah.
Mm.
Are there any other good ones?
This was the same list, just a different website.
This is different.
No.
Oh wait, it is. Is it? Well, wait. There are a couple more. See that? Hold on. Oh, respect. Respect needs to be normalized.
Okay.
People are taking disrespect way too much
Oh,
nowadays.
like on teachers and
Like
stuff?
on
Yes.
teachers, on
Or even
public.
like respect your elderly. Have you guys
Yes!
ever watched What Would You Do with John Quinones?
No.
Okay, so it's like this show where this guy like will go into like work spaces or like different places, and they'll like set up fake interactions just to see how like people around them will
Oh,
respond.
yeah.
And so
I've
like
seen
one that they did a lot would be like old people at like cash registers, like trying to like pay with cash, and they would be like $1 or $2 short, and the old person is like an actor, and the cashier would also be an actor,
Mhm.
and the cashier
yeah.
is responding like angrily, like, oh, you're taking forever counting your money, like it's just $2, like figure it out, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like being rude, and the old person is like trying their best. And then like the what would you do is like seeing how at the real
I've
life
seen
people
clips
would
of that.
react.
Yeah, I've seen clips.
And like so more often than not, the people in line were being like very respectful, and I feel like we need to normalize that. They would be like, you know what, like, here, I will spot you the $2, or like they would chew out the cashier. Like, respect this man. He's done his time in society. Like, let him take his time paying. And like, lots of times, the person who was like closest to the elderly like person would like turn around and ask the people in line, like, do you have a problem with him taking a long time? Be like, no, like, it's not a big deal. Do you know what I'm saying? So like you said, just like respect,
Yes.
even if you don't know the person.
Well, even
like,
if those roles are reversed, like being kind to your waiter or like your cashier, like especially if they're older.
mhm.
If they mess up on one thing, you should not get super mad at them.
Like, you don't have to blow up.
No.
I would even just go. I would just say like even if they're not elderly,
Yeah,
or-
even if they're
or like
anyone.
if they're like poorly, or like you perceive that they're like poorly dressed compared to you, or like something like that, and then like people get upset at people like that for taking too long, or like they're $1 short or whatever. But you never know. They could be working like 2 jobs and
Right.
like
Mhm.
Or, like,
struggling to still make ends meet, and so they're just
or like
whatever.
anything like that. Like even if they mess up a little, or yeah, or like they don't look like you. Just like you don't know what people are going through. So just choose to be nice either way.
Mhm.
yeah.
Like someone could have literally just gotten the call that like their childhood dog died, but they still have to go to McDonald's
Yeah.
to work, and they forgot to take off the ketchup off your sandwich, and you start screaming at them.
Like,
are you
like,
kidding me?
I feel like we need to denormalize like Karens, like, and like the
Yeah.
Karen
Oh my God.
mentality of like blowing up about things.
I
no
get
reason.
standing up for yourself, and I get advocating for yourself, but not like that old video where the lady has her hand in the window and she's like, calm down. The kids are listening to Kids Bop. That video,
or like
that kind of behavior is not okay
or like
at all.
real life experience. Oh yeah, I don't know if you were there. It was a mathletes meet. I was a mathlete. Go Nerds.
Go Nerds.
Maddie was also a mathlete. Kevin was also an athlete.
Julie, were you an athlete?
She was
You're
homeschooled.
missing out.
You're missing
Oh,
out because it's a
yeah.
whole lot of fun. But
Normalize not being homeschooled.
Sorry, I started choking. But so it was after mathletes meet. We were getting in the van, and one of the like, I'm not gonna name any names, but one of the mathletes on our team who's maybe not like the most in touch with like,
I was there.
who's not like the most in touch with like being good at social interactions,
That's a good way
like
of putting it.
accidentally opened his door and accidentally bumped this lady's car that was right next to us, and she was in the car, and she got out yelling, throwing things. She was like, "You're so disrespectful." You're like, you know that video of Cardi B where she was like, "That's so disrespectful." That was how this lady was.
Like digging into him. She was digging into him, and she completely did not mean to. It was just an accident.
Yeah, well, and he said, he was like, "I'm sorry." She was like, "No, like, sorry's not gonna fix the dent in my car." Her car was completely fine.
Her car was fine. There was absolutely no dent.
Yeah, but she was saying like, "I work hard for my things. I worked for this car." Like, kept going off saying how we were disrespectful kids.
My bills are paid.
Yeah.
Okay, Tammy, calm down. We get it.
She was saying just how like we were disrespectful kids who don't understand like how to work for what we have.
I think she said that we're privileged.
Yeah, saying we were privileged, like going on and on. She was like, "You guys should be in school," and we were like, "We just got out of a mathletes meet."
Yeah, like you go in there and solve x equals yx squared, whatever. Like,
yeah,
you can't even.
Well, but I will name drop this. So Tatum, our friend, well, like, I consider her a friend. I don't know if she considers me to be a friend.
I don't know you that much, but
Tatum Wiggs, she was also there. She's also an athlete, and she was like, "Just close the door. Like, this woman is obviously going off on her tangent. Just close the door and let's drive away."
Mm-hmm.
And like, while this lady was continuing to go off, she was like, "I worked hard for my vehicle. I worked my job, blah, blah, blah." And Tatum said, "It's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. You should be at your job, whatever job you have." And so she was like, "Let's close the door and drive away." So we did. Like, we just closed the door and drove away.
It was so funny.
But like, denormalize that woman who was yelling for no reason.
Well, I'm like, I'll call myself out right now. One time we went to a concert and I hit a car in the parking lot. So
Wait,
was.
is this the experience when you hit your aunt or?
We're not talking about that. No.
Wait, but this is so funny because the concert experience was the first time I ever met Julie.
Oh yeah, that's
Oh,
true.
yeah, that's right.
So we went to a concert and I did not hit a person that time, but I did hit a parked car. and so everyone in line, because we I was trying to park in this really tight spot right in front of like the line to get into the concert. Everyone, you didn't see it. Everyone was staring at me and pointing and like laughing. I was crying, bawling my eyes out. But the guy whose car I hit was the head of security at the concert. He comes over and he was like, I was outside and I was crying my eyes out. My mom was down in the parking lot somewhere else. Like, I didn't know what to do. And the guy was like, well, you hit my car. I was like, I did. I'm so sorry. And I was like bawling. He was like, it's okay. You're okay. It was just an accident, right? And I'm like, yeah, I didn't do it on purpose. He was like, okay, well, I need your insurance and stuff. I was like, my mom has it, I think. I don't know what it looks like. So, like, that guy, he was so respectful. Like, he understood that it was an accident. He saw that I was in distress, obviously.
we weren't respectful as siblings in the background.
No, they were not.
We were ruthless.
They were ruthless. And so before that, I was known as the best driver.
Well, but what's funny about this was I was also at this concert.
Zizi was also there.
And so I was in a separate vehicle with my parents.
I think you were behind me, weren't
we
you?
were right behind you as you were parking, and as you were going to park there, my dad was like, that's gonna be a tight fit. And so when we got out and we saw that you had actually hit the car, my dad was like, it was a tighter fit than I even thought.
Well, so let me tell you why. Because so we thought from all that we could see, there was this line of a parking lot and all the spots were filled. So my dad saw one right next to the entrance. He's like, he just started pointing because he was ahead of me in the car.
Yeah,
we
had like the van.
So
we
I was
kind of had like a caravan.
Yeah, so we had like a 3-car
Yeah.
caravan. So I was like, oh, okay, like I'll try to park right there. So I thought that I could make it, but there was a yellow like old hippie van on my left side, right in like on the line, and then the guy whose car I hit was also on the line. And I guess we found out from the guy whose car I hit. He said that this is like, I think I was the 4th person who's ever hit his car in that exact door, because they always park the hippie van and him always park at the same spot in the same like area, and cars are always trying to get in that spot and hit the car.
But also, why are they right on the line?
Right, but so they put a cone to that spot, and like 3 minutes before we got there, they took the cone out because they're like, no, like this is a spot, and then I hit the car. But anyways, circle back to say, let's normalize being like that guy. He was really nice and he understood instead of just blowing up and getting really upset.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that we should all be like that one security guy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that was like the first time that you two had met.
Yeah.
And now Madison and like Julie saw Madison's driving skills in action.
What was I wearing?
I am a good driver, for context. I'm a good driver.
She's only hit like one car, one garage, one person.
Stop it! You don't need to mention that. Okay, well now they're gonna be confused.
That's it so far.
Let them stay confused.
Okay, the listeners, maybe one day we'll get into that, but that's not a conversation for today.
I've never hit anything except for animals. I hit bunnies all the time out here.
Yeah.
Squirrels. Sometimes I've wanted to purposely hit stray dogs.
You hit that curb at the Family Dollar every time.
Oh my goodness! There's a Family Dollar like nearby where we live, and we'll go to get snacks. And I swear, every time I'm leaving that parking lot, I turn too quick, and so I hit the curb.
You go, uh-oh, there's the curb.
Which one?
Just the one
you know
leaving
when
the
you're going to the
parking
street
lot.
with the dips? How you're like in front of
by Georgie's?
Like by Georgie's. So you're like
that exit.
so you
right
so
there.
how you're like leaving right, he always hits that curb.
Like leaving the Family Dollar to go towards the high school.
Yeah, towards the school.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Every single time.
It's not that funny because I'm always afraid that
no,
I
it's hilarious.
absolutely destroyed
Jacked up
the
the
undercarriage.
car.
Yeah.
It's like actually hilarious when it happens though. But I think that's a good discussion, guys.
Is there any other thoughts?
Yeah, do we have I don't have any.
Like anything else you guys want to share about yourselves before we wrap this up?
Context or anything.
You exist in the
think so.
context.
In the context of on which you live and what came before
Did
you.
you say everything
Kamala
you wanted to
Harris.
say?
Let's not get political here.
I'm not. I'm just saying that was like Kamala Harris.
Well, So, yeah,
That was the episode.
that was the episode.
Honestly,
Do you want to?
are we changing what we're talking about in this week, or are we keeping it?
I don't know. Just do it.
Is it as awkward
Okay.
as you thought it'd be?
Well, this is
Yeah.
the
Oh,
ending now.
well, hold on.
Oh,
Pause.
I think it was.
Yeah.
First
Just
podcast episode.
how would you rate
guys.
being on the podcast?
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think it was fun, to be honest. Like,
Right?
yeah, like it wasn't super weird.
At first, it's awkward.
I
Yes, it is
regret
awkward, yes.
like not looking into the camera. I'm like speaking.
Making eye contact.
We usually try to
Speaking.
look at each other. Like, we look at the camera when we're talking
To the
people,
listeners, yeah.
but we look at each other most of the time because that just makes us like bounce off more.
Mhm.
Like, if we were like this the whole time, like trying to get our good angle. Like, hey guys.
You're like Madison's like, I wish old people would die. She's like, was my jaw was my jaw?
Zarin could be on my left side, and I'll just be like, "Yeah, Zarin. So what do you think about that?"
Well, and, like, honestly, like I said this at the very beginning, like the first probably like 2 minutes of the podcast are like the most
It's-
like awkward, just because it's like you have to do like the hey guys, like
Like, you have to start the episode,
yeah.
and
But like as soon as the episode starts, then it's okay.
it's also awkward because you're just staring at a phone.
Yeah,
Like
like staring at the gum wrapper
Like,
heart.
we are
in
not-
my
You
phone
guys should
case.
probably-
We
get,
are
like,
not
a
Jimmy
camera
Fallon.
and
We're
stuff.
not Ellen DeGeneres. We do not have an audience right there.
No.
We're just chilling on a couch or a
Yeah.
beanbag or bed.
Yeah, we've been in a couple
This is
different
the third
locations.
location.
Garage.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But
You hit.
one. All right. Let's end this episode, huh?
Well,
So
but-
it's easy.
But do you guys? I was just gonna say, do you guys want to like share your socials? Do you want to like boost
No,
your
thank
presence?
you.
Yeah, what's our socials?
Oh, Kevin's gonna
You
share
can do
his.
that.
But just
Don't
so
remember.
everyone knows, these two are married.
Mhm.
We don't support
Yeah,
inappropriateness on this.
Like,
Don't go flirting.
that's a good valid point. My Facebook is just Kevin Cordis, Cordes. Cordis. My Instagram is Blitzen20, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because I love like dwarfs and midgets, and so like
Oh, Kevin, they can't see how tall she is.
that wasn't political.
no, it's not
That wasn't
political.
discrimination.
No, I love them. That's a good thing,
Simone
right?
Okay.
Biles is legally a small person,
Oh.
isn't she?
Yeah,
She's like
Yeah.
4'8". Also,
Mhm.
the Olympics.
the Olympics
Oh,
are
talking
so
about that
good.
next.
You guys should talk about that.
We
next.
have to talk
Yeah.
about that next time. But the next episode is going to be.
Maddie, what do you say? Like, let's talking about spicing up and talking about our exes.
I'll tell you later.
All right, bye guys.
Bye, guys.